Now, I know you guys are itching to get to work in the MIG, but before you do anything, you must take into consideration not only your own health and safety, but also those around you. Welding involves highly technical processes beyond the scope of this presentation, but take note, it involves the melting of metal such as steel to temperatures of 1370 degrees centigrade, using tremendous amounts of heat and electric current. This current is travelling from the negative to the positive terminals of the machine, with the welder in between. Now take a look at this guy. He's using oxyacetylene, but it's here to demonstrate the dangerous nature of the situation. There's no thought of eye protection, there's no thought of protection for clothing, and certainly no thought for the well-being of those around him. Now go for it, kid, knock yourself out. So what needs to be done? Well, the first thing you need on hand is a fire extinguisher. CO2 fire extinguisher, and it's essential to have a phone nearby, just in case there's need to contact emergency services. Now, I'd like you to meet Damien. Damien here is going to be our guide through this process, and note for a start that he is suitably attired in overalls and, yes indeed, safety boots. The first thing Damien does is turn the power off to the machine. The second thing is to isolate. Pull that plug from the socket. You can tell now this morning that he didn't have his weight fixed, but it will come out. The next thing Damien does is check the cabling. He's looking for frayed cables, exposed wires, and indeed any damage at all. Not only to the mains lead, but to the clamp as well, the ground clamp. Torch feed as well. He then checks his gas supply to ensure it's on and there's sufficient enough supply, and also the electrode feed to the machine. Now, we're going to look at the torch. Now, the torch is the business end of this operation. It's important to check the inside of the tip to ensure that it's been properly cleaned from its last use. There's no beading. Beading can accumulate and can lead to a poor weld and can often cause to a torch malfunction. Damien now clamps the ground clamp to the bench, thereby closing the circuit and the path back to the machine, which is now safe to use. Ventilation. The next thing is ventilation. There can be a lot of toxic fumes floating around, and we want them cleared away. Now, personal protection. In terms of personal protection, we're looking at leather aprons. Leather is preferable to any other synthetic material, which is generally petroleum based and therefore flammable. You should also consider leather hats, but definitely leather gloves. Leather gloves are essential. Now, it's time to start clearing away. Make sure there are no trip hazards, and don't be shy about lifting up a brush and sweeping around the places. There's lots of sparks flying around, and these sparks can smoulder and catch later. Now, of course, the last thing, the welding visor and eye protection, the all-important visor. Now, as I said, that's us for now. We're going to leave Damien and head on. I think he's got a job to do. Guys, don't forget to turn the power off whenever you're finished. Now, there is one last note I'd like to make, and that's you should never work alone. Adopt a buddy system. You never know whenever you're going to need somebody else's help out there. And never work in wet conditions. Water, electricity, they just don't mix, guys. It's a big no-no. So just be safe out there, guys, and take care, and good luck.